Sure, Bafetu, the month of June has been dominated by events. Youth Day celebration, left and right, youth this and that. But what does this thing means for us? What are all these celebration means for you and me? You know, it's been crazy. I've been looking at all the events taking place, especially in KZN. In KZN, we had a major event at Kingsweliti in Emlazi, where EFF was there. Well, Bafetu, Mina, I would always say hands off to EFF. EFF is always good when it comes to putting together events. Damn, if you look at the pictures, if you look at the videos, you can see that the event was very much well organized. And crazy enough, just next door to a Queenswelitini Stadium, a MUT, they call it a 17 high eThekwini. There was another celebration ye lentuzane ye youth hosted by the IFP Inkatha yenkululeko yenkathazo Freedom Party. And then at the same time in Claremont, there was also an event hosted by the our headline maker, the MK. So guys, let's break it down with what happened to this event. You know, starting with the EFF event, I would say it's crazy and it's very hard to believe that every time EFF is hosting an event, masses will come up, people will have fun. In fact, the streets are painted red as everyone is wearing a red regalia of EFF. But when it comes to the ballot, it seems like people don't want to vote for EFF, but yet they want to enjoy the benefits of EFF. I can tell you that many people, whenever they have problems, they always run to EFF. They want to enjoy the benefits of EFF. But when it's time to vote, they vote left. So in this case, we are not just talking about politicians talking right and walking left. It seems as if when it comes to EFF, the voters, they walk right and talk left. It's crazy. There is something that EFF has to do, but I think now they've got an opportunity because many people in KZN, yes, they voted for the MK, but people are frustrated with the way things are going in the MK. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's one thing that nobody would want to associate themselves with, including myself. Yes, I voted for the MK, but at this point now, I don't wish to associate myself with MK. Look, as it stands now, anybody who supports MK looks dumb and stupid. Just like a black person voting for DA, or anybody who still believes in the ANC. If you are black and you're voting for DA, and for some reason you still believe in the ANC leadership, to me, you are dumb and stupid. Just wake up and see the light. There is no future there. It is like defending the undefendable. How can you defend something that is not defendable? How can you defend 8 secretary generals? How can you defend 700 million being spent on a conversation, a dialogue, perhaps a talk show? Because you're supporting an organization that has got no direction. And EFF, of course, with their superior logic that never translates to votes. Aye man, I sugar. It always makes sense. Take for example, they were talking about many issues. Amongst those issues, they also mentioned Papa Penny. Yes, imagine. For me, I agree with them. You take Papa Penny in a Madrid laws because he's famous and he's going to parliament. Papa Penny is not the kind of person you should send to parliament. But Papa Penny is a crowd puller, a person that you should send out there as a ground force to attract the crowd. Because guys, at the end of the day, parliamentarians are not crowd pullers. In fact, it's crazy. Remember back in the days when ANC was ANC? The DJ Tiras, the Siandas, the Izozos, and the Professors, all those big names were all associated with the ANC. And that formula worked for them. They could have never taken Utizozo to parliament, or they could have never taken Utira to parliament. But Tira, Tizozo, and all the other artists that are associated with the ANC, they were crowd pullers. They attracted crowd, and ANC was ANC by then. And it worked. Learn from ANC, the fallen ANC MK. Because crowd pulling is the name of the game. If you are going to win elections, you've got to attract masses. Guys, but I can't say the same for EFF, guys. Can people of South Africa do some justice and vote for EFF just for once? If you want something, because some of us, we don't even know the people that represent us in parliament. Only those few outspoken people that are there, that we see them on TV, that stand out. But many of them, we don't even know who they are. If you don't believe me, can you name all the parliamentarians that represent the political party that you support? But Papa Penny is a crowd puller. If MK is smart enough, take Papa Penny, put Papa Penny on the streets, put Papa Penny amongst ground forces so that he can attract the masses. Having him there in parliament, sitting and doing nothing and adding no value to the parliament, for me, I don't think that actually is a good idea. Send him out there, let him go and be a crowd puller, you know. Then on the other side, unfortunately, there is very little that we can say about the IFP. Very, very, very little we can say about the IFP. But they were just having an event next door. Well, Imangosuthu is known as the University of, because it's a 17 hostel is mostly dominated by Ilentuzanu, by IFP, and for them to host the event there. But then again, I think I can categorize IFP voters as, let me just not say this thing because it's not gonna sound right to the IFP voters, but IFP maybe, let me rather just say, my fellow South Africans, please stop wasting votes. We need these votes so that we can get back our country. We can get the economy. We can change things that are not done right. And unfortunately, the only way we can do that is through the vote. So guys, let's not waste any more votes. This thing of many political organizations splitting the vote of an African child is one thing that will never get us to the union building. The vote of an African child is divided. Can we just unite for once, for one common purpose? No, let's not unite under the MK. We're not going to unite under the MK, but let's find a way to unite as South Africa for one common purpose. We are so divided and it's not funny. Vote of an African child is there in the EFF, is there in the MK, is there in the EDA, is there in the UDM, is there and there and there and there and there. It's just scattered all over. The PA also, it's just scattered all over. Now I remember. Well, the PA just managed to catch a big fish. Let me rather say a young, promising South African politician. Liam Jacobs has been making waves, climbing and climbing. Of course, he represented the blue regalia of the upcoming mayor of Johannesburg. But yeah, well, Liam Jacobs is a big catch for the PA. And as for IFP, I would say IFP is hopeless in South Africa. Please forgive me, IFP supporters, but we are not here to sugarcoat the realities of South African politics. But let's give it to Premier Utsaminduli. He's trying, shame. Uyazama bandla. Even though they had to get rid of imeya yabantu, isasiboni sebenza iletho kanda and everything, and many people were not happy about that. And as for the voters of IFP, guys, I suggest you find a new political home because there really is no future in the IFP. I don't think IFP can grow beyond where it is now. Let's consolidate, Bafethu. Let's consolidate our votes. Let's consolidate. Let's come together. Let's unite. Sibe mbulunga. Sibe isigaqa. In Claremont, KwaDabeka, The MK was having a Youth Day celebration, and we've seen the president speaking out for the first time. Double standards, if you ask me. Yet we've never seen the president coming in defense of the Secretary General when he was being attacked by Zuma. We never heard anything from the president when Ubusisiwe Mkhwebane was being attacked and continuously being humiliated by Umeripadi. Mina, I would say, yazi bafethu, people have voted for MK and people have said that have given hope to the president of MK, the former president of South Africa, that he has some capacity to make things right or amend the things that he failed to do while he was still a president. Well, for me now, I'm doubting that I'm sorry, excuse me, but I'm doubting umkhulu we MK to be that capable now. I think mina umkhulu we MK must just retire and stay at home with kids. It's crazy because the reason why president didn't finish his term and was recalled was because of him giving power to the Guptas. I think now this thing of giving power to the Guptas has grown inside the old man to an extent that now he has given the MK to another version of Guptas. Take for example the current president Umamumeri Padi, who's currently running the MK, but in the forefront we've got the president and the Duduzile Zuma and the Ntlamulos of the world. I see the same trend. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I see the same trend. You've got the president up front. We had the president in the ANC, but there were rumors that the Guptas are running the country behind the scenes. The same thing is happening now. We've got the president in the MK, but Mary Padi is calling the shots. Duduzile Zuma is calling the shots and running the party in the background, behind the scenes. It's crazy. I think this trend of Ubabu Zuma from being the president of the country to now being the president of the MK, it still resonates with what actually brought him to this position of being an MK president. It's crazy. But at the end of the day, of everything that you could take away from these three events, most value can be extracted from the event that was hosted by the EFF, and of course by the MK. There is some meat that you can extract from there. So what I suggest you do, you can go onto YouTube and download the full speech, and then you can from there just catch up on the details of those. But yeah, if you want to get more meat, you can actually follow up on the on the speech of the CIC and the speeches on the MK. Mina bafethu, as it stands now, I'm not going to say anything or mention anything that has to do with the ANC. Yes, they had a youth event, but I'm not going to say anything about it because Mina, I have no interest in the ANC. ANC, they are busy running the country down, and they're just never going to stop until South Africans wake up and decide to vote otherwise. And then it's crazy. I mean, I'm not gonna keep quiet about this. I'm not gonna keep quiet about this because now I've already started touching on the ANC matters. You know, last week, the ANC itedele isigaqa senguzunga yebhomu in our face as the youth. Can you imagine hosting a talk show? Isigaqa 700 million. I'm talking about 700 bars, guys, just to have a conversation, a dialogue, and talk to your country people and bring people together. You need this inguzung, this gaga. So 700 bars. 700 million, guys. No. Why do you need 700 million? You know, you can even actually host this thing online and pay no fee. Come on, we've got the resources. The only thing that matters are the voices that needs to be heard. But Oh, talking about the voices, guys, this just brought me to another level of thinking, because now, if you look at the list of the people that would be there representing us, the youth and everyone else, I see no one advocating for the youth. Come on, guys, I see nobody that stands and represent the youth. Come on, Bafetu, we've got very promising young African leaders from politics, from industry, everywhere. I don't see those people. I don't see a full representation of our own people that represent us as the youth. They are not there. Where are they? If you look at those lists, guys, people were just randomly selected because they are favorites, or maybe because those people, I don't know what criteria they've used. As a matter of fact, some form of accountability. Somebody have to come and say to us, what criteria did they use to select those people? And then Guzunga got 700 million. What is it going to do exactly? If you're going to have a dialogue, guys, look, you can just host it online, get everyone to participate. Okay, even if you don't host it online, you host it maybe in parliament or at a convention center. Come on, where is the 700 bars going to? 700 million. And as Inguzunga is gaqanga. It's 700 million isibale. Bafethu asisebenzi, i-youth ayisebenzi, ama-business ethu ayastrugglisha, we've got no funding, we are hustling every day. Lapho uma ufika eclinic ufika i-medication ayikho, odokotela abekho, abonesi abekho, izingane ziyavuka every day ekuseni zihambe ziye esikolweni but abothisha abekho, yet kuno 700 million okufanele nje uspendwe for just a conversation. Bafethu South Africa sikho serious. There's a lot that you can do for 700 million, and lento lena mina ngicasula ukuthi somebody can decide to just go and spend 700 million just to have a conversation. A conversation for 700 million. Bafethu angizwa kahle, ngihlapha nizwa ngakahle lento. Sikhuluma ngo 700 million, not just 7 million, not even 700,000. 700 million to be spent on a national dialogue. Come on, Bafethu, mina, I'm just seeing ANC creating another pipeline for them to extort money from the state so that they will just go and spend it. But Bafethu, 700 million, that's a lot of money. What are you going to do with 700 million? We've got the resources, and every resources that will be used for this dialogue are state-owned resources. If you want a venue, you use a state-owned venue. You can use a stadium, you can use a parliament, you can use some conventional centers. Everything that you're going to need for this event, you are just going to use state resources. And nobody wants to extort money and make money out of contribution that will make our country better. There are a lot of things that you can do with the 700 million. It's just too much money, and I can't believe that we are being led by people who think that 700 million is fair to be just spent. Ay bafethu. No, izinto kumele zishintshe bafethu, izinto kumele zishintshe. These people, they'll keep on talking right and walking left. In this time, they're just walking left. They're not even talking right. Mina angazi bafethu, angazi. We need a new political party to come into play here. But then again, there's just too many political parties. But we've got very good, promising young leaders that perhaps maybe they could direct our country to the right direction. Even though we're just going to have to keep on advocating for this, that until we find a party that talk to us as the youth, that talk to us South African childrens, we're just going to have to keep on shifting. Mina, as of now, I'm going to treat political parties like I treat short-term insurance. Mina, with my car insurance, I change my car insurance every month. Everybody that comes and offer me better premiums, I switch and change. And every time it's time to vote, whoever talks and resonates to me, I'll vote for them. Because, wow. Bafethu, mina angazi. Prominent leaders are being sidelined. Criminals are being elevated. But yeah, it's still our month. There's still a lot that we can do as the youth. And my last word to this episode is that if you are young out there, don't expect anyone to come for you, because in South Africa, nobody is coming for the youth. Everyone is for himself. Go rough. Inja ngenja nje bafethu, wonke umuntu uyaziphandela, and it's crazy. It's crazy. Have a great day, my people. I'm just sad. I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed, manish. Lungile God.